If you want more FIFA content from me, I'm now uploading exclusive videos to Patreon. The link for that is down below. And if you want to avoid the random lottery that is FIFA points, you can go straight to the source with u7buy.com. And of course, you can use the code TVM at checkout to get yourself a discount. What is going on, guys? TVM here. Welcome back to yet another player review. Today, we are going to look at the 87 rated man of the match, Aranguiz. And the reason I'm going to do that is because I feel like he could be a very, very good card. In itself, this card, but going forward, if he were to pick up some sort of team of the season, I'm not saying he will do, but if he were to, then we could be looking at a very good card. The other thing to mention, of course, is that with football being off the table for the foreseeable future, I genuinely can't see it coming back until the new season, especially with the World Health Organization saying what they've been saying with regards to the virus possibly being around until June, and then dipping down through the summer months only to return through winter, and then, of course, into next year as well. But with that being said, there is a very good chance, actually, that EA will just issue Aranguiz a good card, because there's so many more Team of the Weeks that they have to fulfill. They've said they're going to fill it with something. Who knows what that may be? They can't literally put Best of Team of the Week in packs for 6 months, so they have to do something. And, of course, there will be other promos as well. So I would not put it past them to maybe give him a FUT birthday or whatever other crazy promo that they pull out of their backsides. That being said, this card in particular is 20-ish thousand coins, between 20 and 22k. That, for an 87 rated card, especially one that's actually quite good, is just crazy. I mean, the market this year is very reminiscent of previous sort of earlier FIFAs. FIFA 15, FIFA 16, with these type of cards were really, really cheap all the time. And of course, only when price ranges came in, was it FIFA 15? It was only really the icons that were like stupid money, and Ronaldo and such. It was like, oh, these cards were always really affordable. Now, in terms of Aranguiz, I have put a powerhouse on him, but I'm not going to use him as a CDM. I am actually going to use him as a box-to-box midfielder. My thought process behind this was, there's no point trying to boost that sprint speed, because it's abysmal, right? 61 sprint speed is terrible. The fact that the difference between the sprint speed and the acceleration is 19 points, that's awful. Yeah, that I hate those spreads. It's really, really bad. But even if you try and give him, I don't know, an engine or something, you're still going to be in the 60s. The best you can do there is like 71 or something, so there's literally no point. My other thought process was, the dribbling is actually quite good. So 90 reactions, 90 balance, 83 agility. He's got a 4-star weak foot as well, just to throw that in there. 87 ball control is very good, and the composure is decent. So I don't really feel like boosting the dribbling was that necessary. The passing in itself was quite good as well. 90 short passing, 85 vision. No point boosting the finishing, because are you really going to get in front of goal that often with a central midfield player? Maybe now and again, sure, but not like crazy amounts of times. So I thought powerhouse, buff that defensive capability, give him extra vision and short passing and what have you. The physicals, in my opinion, get very much like the sprint speed. The strength is so bad that even if we do boost that by 10, for example, it's still 70. It's still not amazing. And he's 5'7", so height is going to prevail there. The team I've got him in is a full Bundesliga setup. It's actually all first owner as well, which I'm very happy to be able to play with, because of course I can get icon swaps done on a different account. I've not touched icon swaps on this account all year, but given the fact that I want to do a lot more player reviews, I've been slacking with player reviews purposefully, to be fair, because I just feel like people aren't interested. But what I'm going to do is actually, I'm going to go from one extreme to the other. I'm going to go from not posting that many to quite possibly spamming player reviews. I'm just going to review everyone. So if you've got a suggestion, feel free to leave it in the comments. I might look at Ilicic if you guys are interested in him. Of course, there are hundreds of Libertadores cards that I've not touched in terms of reviews. So if you want to see any of those, feel free to let me know. Now, this is the new review format. Now and again, there will be live games. For the next couple of days, there won't be. One of the reasons why I've been slacking in reviews, and a lot of you might not care here, we'll just watch the gameplay in the background, but one of the reasons why I've sort of been slacking in terms of reviews is mainly because it's not easy for me to film them in terms of the live content. So what I've done is I've added a much more detailed end screen, which you'll see in a minute or two. And we can talk more about his stats while still having some gameplay in the background. Now, of course, the gameplay is all going to be pre-recorded. I think this is one game, this set of clips, and then when we go into the breakdown, you'll see a completely different game on the screen in the middle, and of course I'll show you my record with him at the end. I want to try and do that for every player. I'll show you the overall record. I won't write it down or anything and have it on the stat screen, because it'll just get in the way, and there's going to be too much information, if anything, on screen. But I will I will show you a little screenshot of what he managed to do in terms of the games played, goals and assists and stuff. Now, Aranguiz in-game, used him in a 4-1-2-2 as a central midfield player, actually next to Kai Havertz. I can't remember what my CDM was. Axel Witsel, there he is, on the ball. Yeah, Axel Witsel was my CDM, and of course Aranguiz and Havertz as my CMs. And I was a little bit surprised that Havertz worked as well as he did there, but Aranguiz was an absolute dream. I was a massive fan of this card, considering, of course, that, okay, it's the last icon swaps that we have. Chances are EA are not going to fulfill their side of the bargain with regards to objectives, because I feel like they've been slacking somewhat in milestones and objectives this year a little bit. Once you've completed the section of the Bundesliga first owner, chances are between now and the end of the game you're not going to need a first owner Bundesliga player or a Bundesliga team in particular that you can't go out and get on the market. So going out and buying this card just strictly for objectives might not be the play. But in terms of building a team, which I've done here, right, I've managed to build this team pretty much from just what I had in the club. Now, of course, this is a content account. There's Aranguiz with a goal, with his weak foot, by the way, 4-star weak foot finish, 70 finishing, and still managed to beat what was a very capable goalkeeper and player in general. That was a very hard game. As you can see, it only finished 2-0. Very, very hard game. That is the review breakdown, and of course in the middle, if you can see it, if it's big enough, you'll be able to see the stats at the end of it as well. I think I played 6 games in total, but there we go. I actually scored 3 goals with him. I think it says 2. One of the games disconnected like right at the end. I don't know why, but it was like 89 minutes or something. My opponent had the ball, he was running with it. It was like 1-0 to him, or no, I scored, but I wasn't winning. It must have been 2-1. And yeah, the game just disconnected randomly, and it didn't count the goal on the record, which was really frustrating, but still, he did actually get 3 goals, and I wasn't trying to score with him either, just something that happened. As you can see in the top right, we've got a Class 2 player. I wouldn't say that he's Class 3, I think he's a little bit better than that, and he's nowhere near Class 1. So if you don't know the class system, basically, from left to right, Class 1 is your Ronaldos, your Mbappes, your Neymars, the Team of the Year cards, those type of cards. Class 2 are these type, so you've got some really nice stats, like high 90s for things, good weak foot and things like that, and very, very capable players that you can use in Weekend League, but are not quite the sort of the top tier. Class 3 are I can't really think of one off the top of my head, but Class 3s are the players that you can get some enjoyment out of in Rivals, but you can't really take into Weekend League. And of course, Class 4 is absolute garbage that you just don't want to ever play with ever again. To be fair, I don't think I'll ever say a player is Class 4 unless it happens to be a bronze card, but why am I ever going to review a bronze player? So as you can see on the left, we have pros and cons, reactions, balance, short passing stamina, and the fact that he is very, very well rounded. Definitely all pros. There are probably more I could list here as well. I mean, I was a big fan of the balance. His agility was actually much better than I thought it would be. I don't think, I did write reactions down. Oh, I did write balance down as well. My bad. I literally just listed them all and then just went through them all again. But he's got an awful lot in terms of the pros that I could mention. Sprint speed, difference between that and the acceleration, definitely a con. His strength is 100% a con. Slide tackle in terms of the stat itself is a con, but if you give him a powerhouse like I did, it goes up to 87. It's not that big a deal, but it's definitely worth mentioning. His finishing I didn't actually have a problem with, but on paper, if you use him as a cam for some strange reason, then you are going to have a problem with it. And of course, his height can be problematic when going up against the likes of Van Dijk. Now, that being said, we have some comparisons on the screen for you. Now, I was using Axel Witsel, so the perfect player to compare him to there is Axel Witsel, and you can see that there's obviously 2 different types of Witsel. The one that I was using, incidentally, was the 86 Footmus. Now, in terms of the comparison between the two, yes, they are different cards playing in probably different positions, and if you give Witsel a powerhouse, he'd be a better CDM, but it's interesting to see that Witsel does suit that CDM a little bit better than Aranguiz, and Aranguiz suits the sort of box-to-box a bit better. In terms of an actual box-to-box player that you're looking at here, Joshua Kimmich is a very good example. Joshua Kimmich, 87 rated card there on the second row. Yes, I know he has a player moments that we were actually, I don't think I was using on this account, I got it on my other account, but he does have a player moments card. But if we compare those 2 cards there, Aranguiz has better shooting, the pace is kind of similar, the passing is very similar, the dribbling is exactly the same, the defensive stats are very similar, and the physicals are also very similar. But then when it comes to Joshua Kimmich, his 87 rated inform is double the price. That's about 40 to 50,000 coins. Whereas Aranguiz, okay, the links aren't quite as good, but Aranguiz is quite literally 20,000 coins. So if you compare him to a very similar player, you get a very, very good result. This card is 100% value for coins. Enjoyment level on it was not amazing, because there were definitely some problems there with the sprint speed difference and things, and it was a solid card. It wasn't something that was going to blow my socks off. It was just solid. And again, the overall rating for a class 2, very, very good. I would urge you to try it out for 20k, absolute bargain. If you have enjoyed today's review, do me a favour and hit that like button, subscribe to the channel if you're new, and until the next time, goodbye.
Football Index. The game changed. Download the app now.